Let me tell you about someone I met last year. Her name is Dorothy Wilson. She's 71. Lives alone in a small apartment in Phoenix, Arizona. When I first spoke with her, she said something that stopped me in my tracks. I'm healthier now than I was at 55. I thought she was joking, maybe exaggerating. But then she showed me her medical records. At 55, blood pressure 145/92, pre-diabetic, cholesterol 240, on 3 different medications, chronic back pain, couldn't sleep through the night. At 71, blood pressure 118/76, blood sugar normal, cholesterol 180, 0 medications, no pain, sleep 7 hours straight. Her doctor called her a statistical anomaly, but she's not an anomaly. She's proof. Proof that the right habits can reverse aging. Proof that 71 can be healthier than 55. Proof that it's never too late. How did she do it? 7 simple habits. Started at age 68, 3 years ago, and today I'm sharing those exact habits with you. Now here's what I want you to do. Count them as I go. See how many you already have, because by the end you'll know exactly where you stand, and if you have even 3 of these, you're ahead of most people your age. Hit that like button, leave a comment with your age, and let's begin. Habit number 1. You wake up with a morning routine. Not just waking up, but having a ritual that gets your body and mind ready for the day. Dorothy's transformation started with mornings. Before age 68, she'd wake up around 7 a.m., immediately grab her phone, check the news, check emails, scroll through social media. By 7:30 a.m., she was already stressed. Then, 3 years ago, she changed everything. She started waking at 6 a.m., same time every day. First, 5 minutes of gratitude, not writing, just sitting quietly, thinking of 3 things she was grateful for. The sun came up. I'm grateful. My legs work. I'm grateful. I have food to eat today. I'm grateful. Second, a glass of warm water, not cold from the fridge, warm, body temperature. She drinks it slowly, small sips, wakes her digestive system gently. Third, 5 minutes of stretching, neck rolls, shoulder circles, gentle arm reaches. That's it. 15 minutes total. But those 15 minutes changed everything. Within 2 months, Dorothy noticed she felt calmer throughout the day, less reactive, more centered. Studies from UC Berkeley show that people who practice daily gratitude have 23% lower cortisol levels, 25% higher serotonin, and 23% lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Morning routines aren't luxury, they're foundation. Robert in Seattle is 68. He started a simple morning routine 6 months ago. 10 minutes. Breathing, water, light movement. He told me, my blood pressure dropped 12 points. My doctor asked what medication I started. I said none, just mornings. If you have a morning routine that prepares your body and mind, you're doing life right. Habit number 2. You sleep 7-8 hours every night, not 4 hours, not 5 hours, 7 to 8 hours. Deep, restful sleep. Let me tell you something that shocked the medical world. Margaret Thatcher, British Prime Minister. She famously bragged about sleeping only 4 hours a night. Sleep is for the weak, she said. Ronald Reagan, U.S. President. Same story. 4 to 5 hours maximum. Both developed Alzheimer's disease. Both of them. This isn't coincidence. This is cause and effect. Sleep deprivation directly causes dementia. This is proven. This is settled science. But people still believe the myth. Successful people don't need much sleep. Wrong. Dead wrong. Here's an experiment that happens every single year. Across 70 countries worldwide. It's called daylight saving time. In spring, clocks move forward 1 hour. Everyone loses 1 hour of sleep. Just 1 hour. The very next day, heart attack rates spike by 24% nationwide. 24%. 1 hour of lost sleep triggers a 24% increase in heart attacks. In fall, clocks move back. Everyone gains 1 hour of sleep. The next day, heart attack rates drop by 21%. 1 hour makes that much difference. Now imagine losing 2 to 3 hours every single night. For years. What's that doing to your heart? Your brain? Robert in Seattle used to sleep 5 hours, thought he was disciplined, efficient. Then he started falling. His memory got fuzzy. Doctor ran tests, early cognitive decline. At 66, his doctor said, "You're not sleeping enough. Your brain can't clean itself." Here's what happens when you sleep. Your brain has no lymphatic system during the day, no way to wash away toxic proteins that build up. So at night, while you're in deep sleep, your brain cells physically shrink by up to 60%. This creates space between them, and cerebrospinal fluid floods through your brain, washing away the waste, the toxic proteins, the cellular debris. This happens only during deep sleep. If you sleep 4 to 5 hours, this cleaning process doesn't complete. Your brain stays dirty. Toxic proteins accumulate, do this for years. Alzheimer's, dementia, memory loss, cognitive decline. Helen in Portland told me, "I used to sleep 6 hours, always foggy, always tired. Then I committed to 8 hours. Within 3 weeks, I felt 10 years younger. If you sleep 7 to 8 hours every night, you're doing life right." Habit number 3. You walk every single day. Not sometimes. Not when the weather's nice, every single day. Dorothy, that 71-year-old I told you about, walks 30 minutes every morning. Rain or shine, heat or cold. She hasn't missed a single day in 3 years. Her route, a 1.8-mile loop through her neighborhood, takes exactly 30 minutes at her pace. Not fast, not slow. Steady. And the results? Her bone density, which was declining at 68, stabilized, then improved. Her cardiovascular fitness, measured by her doctor, is equivalent to someone in their early 60s. Her leg strength is above average for her age group. Walking saved her health, but it wasn't just the physical movement. It was the social connection. Every morning she sees the same people. Mrs. Martinez walking her dog, Mr. Chen doing Tai Chi in the park, the kids waiting for the school bus. Morning, Dorothy. Those brief interactions, 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there, kept her connected to life. Studies from Harvard's Adult Development Study, which followed people for 80 years, found that strong social connections add 7 years to life expectancy and reduce dementia risk by 50%. Isolation kills. But daily social contact, even brief, keeps you alive. Charles in Philadelphia is 70. He walks to the corner store every morning. Same route, same time. He told me, "I don't really need anything from the store. I go for the walk, and to see Joe behind the counter. We talk for 5 minutes. That's my medicine." Walking isn't just exercise. It's sunlight exposure, vitamin D production, fresh air, oxygen, blood circulation, social connection, mental health maintenance routine, and purpose. If you walk every single day, you're doing life right. Habit number 4. You eat mindfully, not perfectly. You don't need a perfect diet. You need awareness. Dorothy's diet isn't complicated. Every morning for 3 years, she's eaten basically the same thing. 1 piece of fruit, whatever's in season, a handful of nuts, almonds, walnuts, plain Greek yogurt, green tea, simple, consistent, whole foods. But here's the secret. It's not just what she eats, it's how and when she eats slowly. Takes 20-25 minutes to finish breakfast. Chews thoroughly. Puts her fork down between bites. She eats at the same time every morning, 6:30 a.m., and she stops eating by 6:30 p.m. That's 12 hours of fasting overnight, every single night. This triggers something called autophagy, your body's cellular cleanup system. Old damaged cells get broken down and recycled. New, healthy cells regenerate. Studies show that 12 to 16 hours of overnight fasting reduces inflammation markers by up to 30%, improves insulin sensitivity, lowers risk of metabolic syndrome, may reduce cancer risk, supports cellular repair and longevity. But here's what most people get wrong about food. They obsess over what to eat. Is coffee good or bad? Should I avoid carbs? Is red meat going to kill me? The truth? Food science is messy, contradictory, There are studies saying coffee is healthy. There are studies saying it's harmful. Red meat might increase cancer risk by 17%, but smoking increases it by 2,500%. Context matters. Here's what is clear. Things to absolutely avoid: liquid sugar, soda, juice, energy drinks, trans fats, high fructose corn syrup, ultra-processed foods. Things to prioritize: eating slowly, 20 plus minutes per meal, eating at consistent times daily, stopping 4 to 6 hours before bed, fasting 12 to 16 hours overnight. Real, whole foods over processed. Barbara in Atlanta is 69. She told me, "I stopped obsessing over perfect meals. I just eat real food, slowly, at the same times every day. Lost 18 pounds without trying. Blood sugar normalized. I feel better now than I did at 60. If you eat mindfully, slowly, consistently, with awareness, you're doing life right." Habit number 5. You still show up for people, not everyone. Just one or two. One friend you can call, one neighbor you wave to, one person who knows you exist. Dorothy's morning walk isn't just exercise, it's her lifeline to community. Every morning she sees Mrs. Martinez. They walk one lap together, talk about their grandkids, about the weather, about nothing important. But it's everything. When Dorothy's husband died 5 years ago, everyone worried. Would she isolate? Would she decline? Instead, she doubled down on showing up. Her morning walks, her weekly phone call with her sister, her monthly lunch with 2 old friends. Those connections kept her alive. Studies show that social isolation after 65 increases mortality risk by 50%, depression risk by 300%, dementia risk by 200%. But you don't need dozens of friends. You don't need a busy social calendar. You need 1 or 2 real connections. Margaret in Denver is 72. She has one close friend. They've known each other 40 years. They meet for coffee every Thursday morning. Same cafe, same table. She told me, "We don't talk about anything profound, we just talk, and that's enough." Frank in Boston is 76. His best friend lives in Florida, 3 states away. They talk every Sunday at 3 p.m., have for 30 years. He said, "I don't need a big friend group, I just need him. That one connection keeps me going." If you still show up for people, even just one person, you're doing life right. Now let me ask you, how many of these 5 habits do you have? If you have all 5, you're already thriving. If you have 3 or 4, you're ahead of most people your age. If you have 2, you're on the right track. But here's where it gets interesting. Those 5 habits will keep you healthy. They'll keep you functional. But if you have the next 2 habits, habits 6 and 7, you're not just healthy. You're truly free. Let's keep going. Habit number 6. You let go of resentment. Can you go to sleep without replaying old arguments in your head? Without hating someone from 20 years ago? Without bitterness eating away at you from the inside? If you can, you're free. Resentment is poison, and you're the one drinking it. Let me tell you about Thomas. He's 72, lives in Chicago. For 20 years, he hated his brother. They had a fight over their father's will when Thomas was 52. Money, property, things that seemed so important at the time. They stopped talking. Completely. For 20 years, Thomas would lie awake at night replaying that argument, thinking of things he should have said, imagining confrontations that never happened. His wife would tell him, "Let it go. It's hurting you, not him." But he couldn't. The resentment had roots. Then, at 70, Thomas had a health scare. High blood pressure. His doctor asked, "What's stressing you?" Thomas told him about his brother. The doctor said something that changed everything. "You're the only one paying the price for this anger. Not him. You. Your blood pressure. Your sleep. Your health. You." That night, Thomas called his brother. The conversation was awkward. Tense. They didn't fix everything. They didn't hug and cry and reconcile completely. But they talked. For 15 minutes. And over the next few months, they talked again. And again. The resentment started to fade. Not because his brother apologized. He didn't. Not because Thomas forgave him completely. He's not sure he has. But because Thomas decided, I'm done carrying this weight. He told me, I didn't forgive him because he deserved it. I forgave him because I needed to breathe again. Because holding on to that anger was killing me. Medical research backs this up. Studies show that chronic anger and resentment increase heart disease risk by 19%, raise cortisol levels, stress hormone, suppress immune function, contribute to inflammation throughout the body, literally shorten your lifespan. But here's the beautiful part about letting go. You don't need the other person to change. You don't need an apology. You don't even need to speak to them ever again. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you releasing the grip they have on your mind. Barbara in Atlanta told me about her relationship with her sister. They hadn't spoken in 15 years. Over something so trivial, Barbara couldn't even remember what started it. One day, Barbara just stopped thinking about it. She didn't call her sister. She didn't send a letter. She just decided, this doesn't own me anymore, and the moment she let it go, she felt physically lighter. She said, I don't need her to apologize. I don't need closure. I just needed to stop letting her live rent-free in my head. That's freedom. Now, I'm not saying you have to reconcile with people who hurt you. I'm not saying you have to let toxic people back into your life, but you do have to release the mental grip they have on you. Think about this for a moment. Who are you still angry at? Whose name makes your chest tighten? Who are you still blaming for something that happened years ago? That person might not even remember what happened. They might be living their life completely unbothered while you're suffering every single day. Is that fair? Is it worth it? Helen in Portland had a similar realization at 72. She'd hated her ex-husband for 15 years. Every time she thought about him, her blood would boil. Then one morning during her walk, she had a moment of clarity. I'm the only one still suffering from this. He's moved on. He's probably happy. And I'm still here, poisoning myself with resentment. She didn't call him. She didn't reach out. She just let it go. Now, when she thinks about him, she feels nothing. No anger, no bitterness, just peace. She told me letting go wasn't weakness, it was the strongest thing I've ever done. Because I chose my peace over being right. If you can sleep at night without carrying grudges, without replaying old fights, without wishing harm on anyone, you've achieved something most people never do. You've chosen freedom over being right. And that choice, especially at your age, is the difference between living with joy and living with poison in your veins. If you can go to sleep without resentment, you're doing life right. Habit number 7. You have a reason to wake up. Not just waking up because the alarm went off, but having something, anything, that makes you actually want to get out of bed. Maybe it's small. Maybe it seems insignificant to other people. But it's yours. And it matters. Dorothy, that 71-year-old I told you about at the beginning, almost lost this after her husband died. For the first few months, she'd wake up and think, why bother? Her husband had been her reason. Their morning coffee together, their walks, their routines. Without him, mornings felt empty. Her daughter noticed. She bought Dorothy a bird feeder and hung it outside her kitchen window. Just try it, Mom. The next morning, Dorothy woke up. A cardinal was at the feeder, bright red against the gray morning sky, then a blue jay, then sparrows. Dorothy made coffee, sat by the window, watched the birds. The next morning she woke up a little earlier, wanted to see them again. Within a week she was waking at 6 a.m., not because she had to, but because she wanted to. Because the birds were there. Because it gave her a reason. She told me, those birds saved my life. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. They gave me something to wake up for. And once I had that, I started finding other reasons too. This is what purpose looks like in your 60s, 70s, 80s. It's not about changing the world. It's not about some grand mission. It's about having one thing, just one thing, that makes you think, today matters. Robert in Seattle is 76. Every morning at 7 a.m., he feeds the ducks at the pond near his apartment. Rain, shine, snow, doesn't matter. The ducks are there. And so is he. He told me, "Those ducks need me. If I don't show up, who will?" That gets me out of bed. That gives me a reason. Margaret in Denver volunteers at the library once a week. She reads to kids. She's 74. The kids are 5 and 6 years old. They don't care about her age. They just want to hear the stories. She told me, "Those kids don't know it, but they keep me alive. I look forward to Tuesday all week long. That's my day. That's my purpose." Medical research shows that people who maintain a sense of purpose after retirement live an average of 7 years longer, have 40% lower risk of depression, show significantly lower rates of cognitive decline, report higher life satisfaction and well-being. But here's what happens when you lose purpose. William in Denver told me about his father. After his father retired at 65, he stopped doing everything. No hobbies, no routine, no interests. He'd sleep until 10 a.m., watch TV all day, go to bed, repeat. William said, within 2 years he aged 10 years. His mind went foggy. His body got weak. He just gave up. His father died at 73. The doctors said heart failure, but William knew the truth. His father's heart failed because it had nothing left to beat for. That's the danger of losing purpose. Your body follows your mind. When you stop caring about tomorrow, your body stops trying to get there. But here's the good news. Purpose can be found at any age. You don't need a grand calling. You just need one small thing that makes tomorrow worth showing up for. Maybe it's a garden you tend. Maybe it's a phone call you make every Sunday. Maybe it's a TV show you follow. Maybe it's coffee with a friend every Thursday. It doesn't matter what it is, it only matters that it's yours. Charles in Philadelphia is 70. His reason to wake up? His morning walk to the corner store. Not because he needs anything from the store, because Joe works the counter. And they talk for 5 minutes about nothing important. But those 5 minutes matter. They're his connection, his routine, his reason. He told me, if I didn't have that walk, if I didn't have that conversation, I don't know what I'd wake up for. That small thing keeps me going. Barbara in Atlanta is 69. She writes letters, old-fashioned handwritten letters, to her grandkids, to old friends, to people she hasn't seen in years. She doesn't know if they read them. Doesn't really matter. She told me, writing those letters gives me something to do, something to think about. I imagine them smiling when they get them. And that's enough. That's my reason. Purpose doesn't mean being busy. It doesn't mean having a packed schedule. It means having one thing that makes you think, I matter. Today matters. Tomorrow matters. If you wake up every morning with something to look forward to, even if it's small, even if it seems silly to others, you're not just alive. You're living. And that's the most important thing of all. If you have a reason to wake up every morning, you're doing life right. Final message. Now let me ask you one final time. How many of these 7 habits do you have? If you have all 7, you're not just aging well. You're thriving in a way most people your age only dream about. If you have 5 or 6, you're ahead of 90% of people your age. If you have 3 or 4, you're still doing better than most, and you know exactly what to work on. And if you only have 1 or 2, that's okay, because you're here, you're listening, you're aware. And awareness is the first step to change. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need all 7 habits tomorrow, just pick one. Start there, do it for a week, then a month, then a year, and one day you'll wake up and realize you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Leave a comment. Tell me your age. Tell me which habit you're starting with, and if this helped you, hit that like button and subscribe. Your health is your wealth. Your habits are your future. I'll see you in the next video.